Alright, today we're going to make a video on how to build a fiberglass box enclosure for the side corner of this trunk. So let's not waste any time and let's get started. I am super excited to get started with this project. I waited for you at home to watch me unbox everything, and unfortunately everything does not mean everything. I've got some resin, I've got some tools, and I don't have any paintbrushes. Should have bought some cheap paintbrushes. I do that later. You'll see later parts of the video where I do have some like $1 paintbrushes. The cheapest thing that you can get. It's great because they're pretty much trash when you're done anyway. Here I am pulling out the fiberglass. I bought enough fiberglass to do probably a half a dozen boxes. If you're in the Dallas area, shoot me an email and I will let you have some for your own. But I let a neighbor do some of his, and there is absolutely plenty left. Also, I bought a 6-pack of tape because I just knew it was going to take a ton of tape in the corner of this trunk, and actually one roll would have easily done it. So keep that in mind. You also saw that I had some scissors there. Just little stuff like that can make it handy if you don't have all those tools laying around already. But as you can see, I just pulled on a little latch right there. That lets the back seat down if you're hauling something longer in the trunk. I definitely do not want to cover that up. This car uses run flats, does not have a spare tire. I actually can get under that without removing the box that I'm building, so that's good. It's actually where I'm storing my amp and some other electronics. So you can see me and my son Logan, we are knocking out this little bit of tape that we have to do, quite a bit of tape. So the main thing you just want to accomplish here is to get a layer of tape over everything. You see some overlap. That's neither here nor there. You just want to make sure that you're not attaching the resin and the fiberglass to the trunk of the car. You want to be attaching that to the tape so that when it's finished and it's taken form, you can just pop that thing out. A lot of people will put MDF on the bottom. That's good. That's kind of a pain to cut out. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not sure really the advantages of having an MDF set on the trunk. Maybe it kind of keeps it, to the bottom better, keeps it from tilting over, but mine doesn't fall over or anything. So here I am applying this resin with a paint stir, so paint stick. Definitely not the best tool for that, but again, I didn't get the brushes yet, so here I am doing that. And as this is the learning process as we go through, I'll say, you see me sticking some fiberglass up there. I pre-cut a bunch out, which was good. I had some pre-cut out, but I learned through the process that you really don't need to cut it out. It's quicker just to rip it out, and it actually works better. Kind of lets the fiberglass overlap better. But anyway, I do that on the second coat, no problem there. So here I am just putting fiberglass up, and I'm putting some resin over the fiberglass and working it in. And again, that works really good, pushing that in with a paintbrush. If you think this might be something that you want to try yourself, the thing that I would recommend that you do right now is go ahead and subscribe. I've got the rest of this video. I've got 2 other videos on this same project. It's the longer versions. So go ahead and finish this one, subscribe, and then you can go back and watch the other ones if you need a little bit more detail. This one pretty much covers everything. The others separated into a couple of videos. But hey, thanks for being here, and thanks for subscribing. This isn't cured yet. I've got another hour and 45 minutes before it's considered completely cured, but since I'm going to do the rest of this outside the vehicle, I'm going to go ahead and start removing the plastic. I have my cheap paintbrush here now. I kind of wish I would have done this a little different. It seemed like a great idea at the time. Let's just pour some resin down in this fiberglass, but would have been better off pouring resin down in the other product, moved it around with the paintbrush real well, and stuck the fiberglass to it. The negative in doing it this way, in hindsight, is that you kind of get some air bubbles in between the fiberglass, the new fiberglass layer and the old fiberglass layer. Also, one thing that I really didn't cover very well on the video that I did do is I bought some wooden dowels and put into this larger area in the back bottom as you're looking at it right now, and it gave it some humps. You can kind of see it barely in there, but if you can throw in some anything, just something to give it a hump, it gives it rigidity, makes the fiberglass a lot stronger, the resin fiberglass mixture. So yes, this did work, but again, if I had to do it over, I would have slapped some resin down and then started sticking these in and like punching them in with the brush. Also, probably would have made slightly smaller batches of resin. I wasted quite a bit of resin on this job. I think I used just like 2 gallons in a quart. Probably should have easily been able to get by with a gallon or maybe just over a gallon. So keep that in mind when you're doing yours. Here has cured overnight. That is the back half of the shell, and it is complete. We have our box. The whole back fiberglass piece is finished. Everything is secure, so we're now ready to go. I'm going to pull this out and going to put it over on our stands, and we will see about covering the whole front of this. So this is the bottom. And I've got some felt here. I'm just going to drape that across and try to kind of secure it tight. I apologize, I missed the part where I attached the ring, had the ring made, all that fun stuff. So let me just tell you about it really quick. I got the ring from a buddy of mine. He made it on his router. It wasn't a big deal. I didn't have a setup for that. If you don't have a friend that has a router, you could probably go to like a car audio place and they would probably charge you way too much for it. Heck, nowadays you may even be able to order something on Amazon. I'm not sure. But get you a ring. I got the ring, put it about where I wanted it, cut some weird angles, just kind of guessed on the lumber that's coming out to hold the ring, and just put some screws to the back of the fiberglass after pre-drilling some holes. Got those about where I wanted, and then marked them where I wanted the ring, and then I pulled them back out and cut them again, and then attached the ring to it. None of that has to be perfect. It just kind of has to hold that ring while you're fiberglassing it all together, because the fiberglass shell will also hold that ring where it needs to go. But you do need some wood on the back of it to hold the ring until the fiberglass is complete, and then you need to leave that on there because the subwoofer does have some weight to it. I'm not saying that it's not going to do anything, but you know the deal. So anyway, as we're learning together on this, you see me dropping some fiberglass and doing the resin thing again. Guys, I didn't learn that part during the deal. It's just hindsight now that, hey, put some resin on it and then put some fiberglass above it. But as I mentioned here, we're putting this sheet, a piece of felt. I actually got this felt from a neighbor. I put it out on our little Facebook neighborhood page. I said, does anybody have a piece of felt that they could part with that they're not using? Pick that up for free. So that's nice. You get to meet somebody new in the neighborhood and get a piece of felt that you need for the project at no cost to you. So I'm all in favor of things like that. So you can see here I'm using the cutoff wheel on my angle grinder to cut this off. It's felt, so it cuts easy except where it has resin on it. The resin gets really hard and is impossible to just cut with like a razor knife or near it. I wouldn't want to try it. This works really, really well. As you can see here, I've switched over to the grinding wheel. I wanted to get this surface nice and flat and everything even because, you know, if you think about it, if this sticks up a little bit higher, it's not going to fit over into the corner of the trunk. So this you have to get just right. As soon as I get this just right, I'm going to go back over it with another coat of resin and some fiberglass to reinforce that corner and make sure we've got an excellent seal. So I've got our carpet cut loosely to fit. I'm making sure everything's going to cover. What we're going to be using today to attach this carpet, because I want this thoroughly attached. I don't want it looking bad after a couple months or any of that. We're going to be using contact cement. So you can see here I've got a foam roller out. I'm going to pour some of the contact cement on this, roll it around, get it everywhere, and then you just let it dry. You do the same thing with the carpet. Let it dry, and then you can join the two together and it won't come apart. That is a tip I got from Audio Guy where I bought the carpet. You know, what's the best way to make sure this don't come off? He said this is the way. Of course, they buy it in 5-gallon buckets and save a lot of money. This quart, I think, was over $10. So, you know, it all starts adding up after a while, but this is the best way of doing it. There we go. So the speaker box is completely covered with carpet where we need it. So now we're just going to cut out the speaker hole. Just do a few little things. One thing I did notice at this point was that I do have some glue that has come through, or I guess probably when I was rolling it on, it kind of went all the way through the carpet. So one little trick I have for that is I'm shaking up some black spray paint. That happens to be satin, but any black will do. Just hit it with some black spray paint. That'll cover that up. It'll look good and won't affect anything, being that it's a speaker box. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend this for household carpet, but again, for a speaker box, that covers up any of the glue that come through. So now I'm just taking some scissors and trimming off the edges so that it'll fit in my trunk nicely. I did go back and put some Velcro on those and attach those on, and that, I don't know if that helped a whole lot, but it keeps the thing in place. I don't have any trouble with it ever falling over. So now I've got a drill bit that's about the same size as the wire. Rather than putting a connect, I like to go ahead and drill a hole through and get a much tighter fit. I'll come back and seal that. I'm showing you here that I've got plenty of wire. If I do need to move this over, I want to be able to, you know, pretty much pull this thing out of the trunk and even maybe sit it on the ground. You know, if I had to empty out the trunk for some reason to get to something underneath it, I don't know what's going to come up in that situation. But you may have a spare tire under there, and you may have to unload your trunk and have to, including your speaker box, to get to the spare tire and all the jack and tools and things. So I'm also here explaining how I am making sure to have enough wire on the other side if I ever need to pull the speaker out. You want to have enough to where you can comfortably do things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over how to run these in parallel. So we're going to keep this super simple today. All we are going to do is we're going to have this dual 4 ohm speaker run at 2 ohms. I have an amp here that runs one channel, 270 watts, and that is, if you're running it at 2 ohms, we've got just 2 outputs here. So this is how this will wire up. You'll simply take the positive and wire this over to the positive on the other side, and then wire the negative to the negative on the other side, and then you'll just run your wires out of either side to your amp. So we've got positive to positive, negative to negative, and this is ready to run at 2 ohms. That's all there is to it. I bought a small cheap tube of Alex Flex caulk, perfect for what we're doing here. I'm just going to take and put some of this caulk around where the speaker wire comes into the speaker box. I'll show you what that looks like here. And then whenever that's finished drying, I'll jump on the outside and do the same, and I'll have a really nice tight seal where the speaker wire comes in. Here's our finished product. Everything turned out perfect. I'm very happy with this build. The carpet all matches well. Looks very, very close to factory. As you can see here, I can still pull my latch to release the seat. So yeah, everything's perfect. This was the short version. If you'd like to see the longer version, just click on one of these videos.